looking at the skyline of South Bend, outlined beneath the blue-gray October sky. We bring you on into School Field tonight, where the Indiana High School Football State Tournament gets underway as a pair of 6-3 teams square off. The Tippecanoe Valley Vikings visit the South Bend Washington Panthers on the 46th game of the week. And how you doing, everybody? Alongside the Hall of Fame running back Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. Bob Nagel still fighting it off a little bit. He hopes to be back with us soon. Bo, the Valley Vikings come in here, as we mentioned, with a record of 6-3. Steve Moriarty seems to have his team back to playing the kind of football they're used to seeing in Valley.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the things that we talked to some media people from down in the Valley area, and they talked about, maybe being down a little bit the last 10 years, down more than they've ever have been in the past. And Steve's really brought this team back, but it's been a lot of dedication out of these players, a lot of hard work, and they have an opportunity tonight, an opportunity to change that program around and get a first sectional win.
Tonight, they make their first ever trip to this historic edifice, and believe me, it registered with the players walking in.
That is true, coming from, well, you were down there this week, we're in the middle of the corn, it's kind of like bringing Hickory to, Butler's Fieldhouse, so we had to measure the goalposts a little, but, South Bend, Washington is very big up front, and they're very athletic. There's speed on the outside, plus they're big up front, and I think they stay true to their offense. They don't vary too much, they stick to the course, and when you do that, you get to be more fundamentally sound, and everybody knows their position and role, and I think they do that very well.
All the plaudits from Steve Moriarty about Washington, and you can understand why. The Panthers come in with a record of 6-3. Todd Stamage, the first-year head coach, has changed the culture. He's also changed the offense.
Yeah, he definitely has, and this team's going to run, and then they'll run a little bit more as well. But I think the biggest thing is he's changed the culture of this program. Again, another team that's really turned around. You can ask everybody almost in the whole community of South Bend community and said, hey, Washington's going to be 6-3 this year. None of them would have said that. You even would have said 3-6. They said, I don't even think they're getting there. But he's done a great job with this program, and it's been the seniors, 23 seniors on this team. They've really stepped up, bought into his culture change, and he's really done a great job over there.
So I know we haven't had the Panthers on 46 this year. What should you expect from Todd Stamage's ball club tonight?
What they're going to see is we want to keep a defense honest. Like we want to make, one of the most difficult things for kids this age in football is to play your responsibility over and over again. Anyone can do it 1 or 2 plays, but to do it 7 or 8 plays in a row, you really test the one glaring weakness that most kids this age have. And so that's what we want to do. We want to use deception and misdirection. We want to make everybody play their spot in their position. And that's what you're going to see from us. A lot of guys can carry the ball. We're going to rotate a lot of people in and out of the backfield. We do want to take opportunities to pass the ball down the field, but if, to put it the way you said, if we're clicking, we're running the football well.
Now, both of these schools have state championships in their history, but that was back in the 1970s. As far as these kids are concerned, they haven't had any kind of tournament success. What does a win tonight mean for either one of these teams?
Well, I think it's huge for both these two teams. All the high school coaches say the sectional is the hardest championship to win. You got to win 3 games to win a championship, and it all starts tonight. And these two teams have a great opportunity. They're very similar. They go against each other, and they have a chance to move one step closer to that 3-game win to get to that sectional championship, and it's just one step closer, turning their program around and getting to that next step in their program.
It's the area's best first-round matchup in the sectional. We'll take a look at it with the Craig Welding pregame show and the Jordan Automotive Keys to Win when we come back on the 46th game of the week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Intera Credit Union, South Bend Orthopedics, Bill's Heating, Jordan Automotive Group, Teachers Credit Union, IU South Bend, Electrical Workers Local 153, Crown Trophy, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, and the IHSAA.
Edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by the Jordan Automotive Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. What an amazing sunset we have had tonight over the city of South Bend as we get ready for the Craig Welding pregame show and give you the Jordan Automotive Keys to Win tonight. Liberty Tower on your right, the Key Bank and County City buildings on your left. And now we bring you inside School Field to tell you about the Tippecanoe Valley Vikings and the South Bend Washington Panthers. And let's start with the Valley Vikings as Washington comes onto the field. Tippecanoe Valley has an outstanding running back and defensive back by the name of Dakota Gaff, 5'9", 136 pounds, and a senior. He is the leading rusher on this team, 674 yards on the season with 6 touchdowns. They also have an effective receiver by the name of Jalen Potter. The senior has 30 catches for 394 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's also a terrific defensive player with 5 interceptions. The keys to win for Steve Moriarty's Vikings.
Yeah, the keys to win tonight for the Vikings. They need to win special teams. Both of these teams have really struggled as of late with their special teams, and that's one aspect that Valley can really take advantage of. They need to eliminate turnovers. The team with the least amount of turnovers, we believe in this game, will win this game, and they need to play hard, hit hard, every single play, every single down to win this ball game tonight. Chuck?
Now as we take a look at the Washington Panthers, they also like to run the football a lot, and they'll give it a lot to number 12, Teron Bradshaw. The 5'10", 185-pound senior has 201 carries for 852 yards and 8 touchdowns this year. And along the line of scrimmage where this game may well be decided tonight, keep an eye on Daniel Thompson. He's a two-way player, 6'3", 270 pounds, and a senior. Not only does he line up at one of the tackle spots on offense, he is one of the defensive tackles on defense, and really believe the big uglies down in the trenches could be the difference makers here tonight.
Yeah, the keys to win tonight for the home team, the Panthers, on the scoreboard. Force them to pass. They really want to get Tippy into passing situations. Force them to pass and force them to maybe possibly have turnovers. They need to limit possessions. One of the big things Tippy likes to do, too, is hold, sustain drives. They need to really limit those possessions and win the line of scrimmage. They want to have the big uglies up front, really have some great push, and win that line of scrimmage is key tonight.
Weather tonight sponsored by Jonesy's Junction. Picture perfect conditions, 45 degrees. The wind, gentle zephyr out of the northwest at 5 when it is blowing, and only a 10% chance of any kind of precipitation. Washington won the toss and deferred, so they will kick off with Syer Agnew doing the honors. The normal kicker for kickoffs for Washington. Marquise Bates out with a rib injury tonight, so Agnew will do the kicking. And back deep for Tippecanoe Valley, Braden Shepard and Dakota Gaff. And we are just about ready for the Indiana High School State Tournament to get underway. Our first quarter tonight sponsored by the South Bend Alumni Association. The Washington Panthers in green, the Tippecanoe Valley Vikings in white. We're glad you've joined us, whether it's on the Facebook live stream brought to you by Bill's Heating or watching us on TV 46. Welcome to the Indiana High School State Tournament. Agnew gets the sign, toe meets leather, and we're underway at School Field with a spinning kick that Shepard takes on the run at his 20. Shepard outside to the 40. Shepard knocked out of bounds in front of the Washington bench at the 46-yard line. A dynamic return by Braden Shepard sets up Tippecanoe Valley in excellent field position to start the game.
We just talked about winning that special teams, and what a great job by Valley really setting that up on the short kick, getting just right at midfield, maybe just a little over it. Now they're putting it at the 46-yard line to start their drive. Good drive, great start for Valley here.
You look at Tanner Trapiti, the quarterback for the Tippecanoe Valley Vikings, the 5'9" senior, has only completed about 41% of his passes this year, but he's also run for 378 yards and 6 touchdowns. Lots of different formations by this Valley team. It's Jalen Potter in motion on the end around, and Jalen Potter brought down from behind at the 47-yard line after a pickup of 7. Deontay Williams with what may have been a touchdown-saving tackle. The Valley offense brought to us by Insurance One Services. Jaden Conley, also a very effective runner of the football. They like to throw to both Potter and Jacob Davis. The offensive line, yes, they have a center with the last name of Snap, but the leader in there is Harry Johnston, the senior guard. It's 2nd and 2, and Trapiti wants to throw. To the outside he goes. He finds his man Jalen Potter, who backpedals, and that wound up being a mistake because Potter, where he caught the ball, probably would have had the first down. Instead, Valley gets no gain on the play, and they're looking at 3rd and 2.
Yeah, a lot of times they call forward progress on that, but they got separation from the defender, and he was able to restart. So he had the first down, got a little bit of separation, started his motion forward, and that's where they tackled him. So great play by Washington there on that 3rd down or 2nd down play.
Now a key 3rd and 2 call here for Steve Moriarty, and you heard Todd Stamage talk about the multiple formations that Valley will run. They've got a trip set to the left. Trapiti throws backwards. That's a lateral. That's a loose ball. And who got it? Washington has it. The turnover bug bites the Vikings again. It's Elijah Reynolds who's getting the start tonight at linebacker in place of Marquise Bates, who gets the fumble recovery. And the Washington defense comes up with a big play here after the misfire by Trapiti.
Yeah, it was one of those plays, almost like a shortstop and a second baseman trying to turn a double play. They never get their feet turned, and that's what he did right there on that replay. You can see never got his feet set, never got his feet turned, threw a little off balance, and when he does that, it actually went backwards. Big turnover for this Washington Panther team. Take over at their own 47-yard line.
Washington with Kenyon Grant, the quarterback. They will keep the ball on the ground a lot. This is Teron Bradshaw off the right side, crashing to the Valley 46. A pickup of 7 on the play, and will meet the Washington offense, brought to us by the Dieter Dream Foundation. Kenyon Grant doing a nice job at quarterback this year. We told you about Bradshaw. Deontay Williams getting the start at halfback tonight. They don't throw the ball a whole lot. Sierra Agnew, the leading receiver on the team. And Mario Garcia, big hoss at tackles, 6'5", 280-pound senior, along with Daniel Thompson, anchors that offensive line. It's 2nd and 3. Grant hands it off to Deontay Williams on a counter play, and Williams gets maybe a yard on the play before he's brought down by the Valley defense. Johnny Gonzalez on the stop that time. The Tippecanoe Valley defense brought to us by Insurance One Services. Ross O'Connor having a good year on the defensive line with 6 sacks. Gonzalez and Snap, 2 of the top linebackers on the team, but the leading tackler on the team is actually Dakota Gaff, the 5'9" senior. It's 3rd and 2 for Washington at the Valley 45. Grant hands it off to Grant kept it himself and comes up short of the first down, ball on the ground, but the official will say that Grant was down already, which is the right call. And he's down at the 44. It's 4th and 1, and Todd Stamage is not hesitating. He'll go for it here.
Yeah, you see both these offenses are similar as they're going to both run the ball. The difference between them both, you talked about it earlier, it looks like the ball might have popped out there. Tippy's going to run a lot of different sets where Washington's not. They run a lot of the same sets. They're going to come after you. They're going to hope that you misplay the ball and don't do your assignment.
No replay in high school football, and Teron Bradshaw has a first down up to the 32-yard line. It's sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation. Big pickup of 12 yards on the play for Bradshaw on his 2nd carry of the night.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies is celebrating 60 years as an industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. 60 years of serving the automotive, medical, aerospace, and military defense industries. Go to iftworldwide.com for more info. Like the teams in tonight's game, we're working towards a great finish.
Washington with a 1st and 10 at the Valley 33. Grant with a long count, gave it off. Bradshaw up the middle, gets to about the Valley 29-yard line. Pickup of 4 on the play. And Teron Bradshaw, who ran for 145 yards in their win over Riley, has proven to be very reliable. There's Dakota Gaff, who was in on the stop.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Bradshaw tonight. He's already off to a good start of the game and, picked up that last big first down. And here they're going to him again. But Teron Bradshaw, I think he's one of the key players, as he was one of our key players, but to have a huge game on the ground tonight.
Deontay Williams and Bradshaw in the backfield. And it's Kenyon Grant keeping it on the option. Grant spinning like a whirling dervish up to the 24-yard line. He's a yard short of the first down. So Kenyon Grant gets Washington looking at a 3rd and 1. We talked to Todd Stamage before the game. Grant had shared the position a little bit with Jason Tanner early in the season, but it's basically Kenyon Grant's position now to lose.
Yeah, and, we really talked in depth about it, and he said, he's going to be there for majority of the snaps, and the way we took it is about 99.9% of the snaps he's going to be there. So.
They can use a change of pace once in a while and put Grant out as a receiver. But here on 3rd and 1, they want to run the football, and they do with Teron Bradshaw, and he bullies his way for the first down, just dragging Potter with him for the first down, sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation. A nice run that time by Teron Bradshaw. You get another look from SBO.
Yeah, he came up, hit that lineman dead on, but he never kept his feet, his legs driving, kept him going, did a little spin out there, and you know, you got to keep fighting for every inch, and he picked up that big first down.
Steve Moriarty wants a timeout to settle down his defense. Still scoreless at School Field midway through the first. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by Intera Credit Union, because they live here too.
Our thanks to the team from St. Andrews Products for making our crew look great tonight. They can do the same for your school or corporation. Call 800-628-9922 or email at sales@standrewscorp.com. Your expectations become our standards, and our answer is always yes. Now, what is the question?
So Washington, as you take a look at the first-year head coach Todd Stamich on the sidelines, used to coach right next door here at Jefferson School for about 12 years at the middle school level. Now his first high school head coaching job. His team looking at a 1st and 10. Might have been a false start. And the problem there is I'm not sure that false start would have been called, but Devon Braggs looked over at the official with the guilty look and almost forced him to throw the flag.
Yeah, it was just a very slight move there, and he was like, oh, no. And Bradshaw was up the middle for sure on that play. Could have been a big play. I know Tippy did stop on the play, but bring up a 1st down and 15 here.
You saw the officials for tonight's game as assigned by the IHSA: Tim Holmes, Bill Morrison, Jeff Holmes, Tim Mills, and Stephen Green. That's the first penalty of the night for either team. 1st and 15. Grant hands it to Bradshaw right up the middle. Why not? That's been working for the Panthers tonight. And Bradshaw with another 7-yard pickup. 5 carries, 37 yards on this drive for Teron Bradshaw.
Yeah, picking up some big yards on every single play and just moving those chains, and that's the way they'd like to do it. Move the chains, pick up the 1st down, get to the next one, pick up the 1st down, and just keep plugging along, keep prolonging this drive.
They'll spot it down at the 17-yard line. It is 2nd and 9. Some movement along the line by Valley, but not into the neutral zone. Grant surveys the scene and keeps it himself on a naked bootleg, or that's what it became. I think Grant was expecting a running back to be there. There wasn't, and Kenyon Grant did a heck of a job to make a 4-yard carry out of that.
Yeah, that looked like a broken play from the start. He went to do the fake. Here, see on the SBO replay, he's like, whoa, I better just keep it and keep on running.
But some terrific shiftiness there, and Jason Snap was lucky to hang on to him and make the tackle. So Washington now looking at a 3rd and 6. Mario Garcia is the kicker, but they don't like going for field goals if they can help it. Here's the handoff, flags thrown, and the throw out in the flat, touchdown Washington, but I have the feeling it's coming back. Devon Braggs could have his 2nd TD of the year, but the officials say illegal motion on Washington.
Yeah, it looked like we had a guy moving before the snap, and they're going to go ahead and call it illegal motion. Move him back 5, run it again.
Beautifully designed play. They had Valley all committed to the run, and it's a lot different for Washington throwing on 3rd and 10 than it is 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and they're in the territory now. You talked about it here. We can see it on the SBO replay.
The top
forward.
Receiver.
Yep.
Just that one little step forward. Very costly right there for Washington.
We are in 4-down territory, I believe, for Coach Stamich. I mean, he's showed it already that they're going to go for it on 4th down. And as we talk, special teams are a struggle for both of these teams.
So it is 3rd and 11 from the 19. Grant fakes it, now keeps it, and gets plowed under that time. Big Wade Melanson, the 334-pound sophomore, and Harry Johnston as well, came over to make the hit. It'll be 4th and long for Washington from the 17, and you're right, Todd Stamich is going to go for it.
Yeah, right after the play, he had the wide receiver who's running in the play right now, standing right beside him, looking at his playbook and getting ready to make the call, and they just sent it in.
Here comes the 11th play of this drive that started after a Tippecanoe Valley turnover. The Vikings trying to come up with a big defensive stand here to keep it scoreless in the first. 4th and 9. Grant pitches. Devontae Williams trying to get around the outside, stumbles, and he did not get the first down. He goes down at the 13-yard line, well short of the sticks. And so Tippecanoe Valley will take over on downs after a lengthy Washington drive.
They tried to get to the outside there and use their speed, which they have a little bit more speed than Valley does, and he just wasn't able to get the outside. He might have actually picked up the first down if he didn't trip, because that defensive back fell as well, as you saw there on an SBO replay.
So Valley, who only had the ball for 3 plays on the first possession and turned it over, will now get its second possession of the game as whistles blow, and we've got an equipment problem for the center Jason snap. I'm not exactly sure what the problem was, but now you have to put in the backup center.
They pointed at, he must have had blood on his leg because he's washing his leg off right now with some water. So I think they pointed out some blood on his leg and went over to get it washed off and wrapped up probably.
Kelton Johnson is the backup center, 5'8", 175-pound senior. We'll see how he does right here. Clean exchange, the pitch made into the backfield, and Dakota Gaff goes down at the 19-yard line. Pickup of 5 on the play. Let's meet that Washington defense. It's sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation. Along the front line, Terrence Johnson having a nice year at defensive end. Xavier Brown Douglas, though, 59 tackles, 4.5 sacks. The linebacker corps led by DeMonte Kelly, the senior with 53 tackles. And in the secondary, keep an eye on Deontay Williams. He's forced 3 turnovers this year. 2nd and 4 for Valley.
Deontay Williams on that last open field tackle is a great job and great tackle. And here Tippy picks up the first down on their second down play.
They give it off to Jaden Conley. That's the first time we've called his number tonight. And Conley, who rushed for 546 yards this season, gets Valley its first down of the night up to the 25-yard line.
Craig Welding and Mentone, they're proud supporters of the Vikings. Whether you need CNC work, portable welding, or custom fabrication, call Craig Welding in Mentone or visit craigwelding.com.
Now the pitch out goes to Dakota Gaff. Blockers in front, and Gaff with some nice speed comes up to the 31-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play. I quite frankly asked Steve Moriarty, who's your fastest guy on the team, and he told me it's number 45.
And you can see in that last play, they hit the hole really hard. Once they get to that outside and they see the hole, immediately they cut and they hit north and south, what we talk about all the time. Running backs need to be able to run north and south, and he does a great job of it and did it right there.
Tanner Trapedi lines up in the shotgun, looking at a 2nd and 4. Man in motion, it's Jalen Potter, and Potter tried to cut it inside. Gets up to the 34. He's a yard short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
The Dieter Dream Foundation is a proud sponsor in tonight's game, founded by Garrick and his wife Meg. Their mission is to positively impact the lives of disadvantaged youth and neglected animals. The Dieter Dream Foundation wishes the Panthers the best of luck in tonight's game.
Garrick, of course, holding a camp here this summer at School Field. His lovely wife Meg came up with him for the camp. Terrific day for a bunch of kids here in South Bend. Handoff up the middle and another first down for Tippecanoe Valley. As this time they go with Jacob Ehrenman, a senior who has only carried for 87 yards this year, but he showed a nice burst on that run, picked up 6 and a first down. You get another look from SBO.
Yeah, Tippy's going to really spread it around, give it to different running backs, give it to a few guys, have a lot of different formations. They're not going to really rely on one person to really carry them, but, they did a great job of really being versatile out here.
Trips off to the right. And here's Trapedi trying to roll out, and he gets away from one tackler but got submarined by the defensive back coming up to make the stop that time. as it looks like Deontay Williams roared up there from his outside linebacker position and made the stop on Trapiti after a pickup of 2.
Yeah, DeMonte Kelly really came after him right off the snap up the middle on a blitz, and Trapiti was running for his life to start that play, and he did everything he could to pick up 2 yards. I mean, that's what you want to do, pick up positive yards in a situation like that, and he did.
So it is 2nd and 8. Trapiti will pitch out, and it's Conley. Conley serpentining his way through the Washington defense. Conley up to the Panther 46, and another Valley first down.
Oh, what a great cutback there across the grain. Over pursued Panthers. You can see here on the SBO replay, they're coming. They all over pursue at the linebacker position. Nobody in the back C gap there to fill it, and he did a great job of cutting back.
It was Jeremy Johnson who made the touchdown saving tackle. Johnson, only a freshman, getting some varsity time at quarterback. As you take a look at Steve Moriarty, the third-year head coach of Valley, his team on a drive that started back at its own 13-yard line. They give it up the middle. It's Jace Potter, and Potter running at fullback that time, picks up a yard, maybe 2, and that's about it.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Insurance One Services. Good luck tonight to the Vikings. Their local agents, Craig Dirks and Todd Helvey, have served Akron and Mentone for over 30 years and can help with all your home, auto, business, and life insurance needs. Call Insurance One Services or visit insuranceoneservices.com.
Valley lining up to try to run the final play of the first quarter, but they don't have to get it off if they don't want to. Apparently they do. Dakota Gaff up the middle, and Gaff running behind that big offensive line takes it up to the 39-yard line, and that's where Valley will have it when the second quarter gets underway. Lots of running, not much scoring. That's the way it's been tonight at TCU School Field. Washington and Valley getting their moves on before the game and some during, and it's scoreless on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by IU South Bend, fulfilling the promise. Normally we would promise you a Bills Heating sideline report from the sidelines, but Bo Hunt is starting to like the sweet life up here. Heated press box tonight, the whole bit. Your thoughts on quarter number 1 here?
Well, first off, I'm a little jealous of you and Bob being up here all the time, in this nice, warm, and cozy atmosphere, but exactly what we expected. I mean, these two teams are so evenly matched. They both are very similar in style. They're both going to run the ball quite often. They got some big hosses up front on both sides of the ball. Very evenly matched, athletic-wise as well, and coaches, right there you see a great shot of Steve Moriarty. And the last time Tippy won the sectional in 1992, he was part of that 1992 team.
It is 3rd and 3. Movement along the line, and I think it may have been Washington who jumped. That's their 3rd penalty of the night, and this one cost them a first down.
McDonald's Physical Therapy is proud to have Michiana's top physical therapists, known for quality of care and patient focus. Remember, McDonald Physical Therapy when you need to get back in the game.
So 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line for Tippecanoe Valley, a drive that started all the way back at its own 13. Handoff, that's Potter up the middle, big hole. Jace Potter down to the 13-yard, no, spotted at the 14, a 20-yard pickup for the Valley Speedster.
Great job by the line up front. You can see the big hole they opened up, a block down, 2 block downs, left the defensive end open. He was able to get by the defensive end and got through the second line linebackers and able to get it to the secondary.
Javion Brown twirled him down at the 14, but Jace Potter only had 27 carries during the regular season, but looked impressive there on a 20-yard pickup, and they'll go back to the big fella here. 6'3" fullback. You don't see a lot of those. He crashes it down inside the 10 to about the 9.
Big Michael Sexton there, 307 pounds on the offensive line for Tippy. Does a great job of really blowing that hole up for him, giving him at least 3 yards before he even got touched on that play.
Right now, Valley giving Washington a little taste of its own medicine here with a lengthy drive. They have taken about 5 minutes off the clock here and marched it down inside the 10 with a 2nd and 5. Gaff, the tail of that group, and they pitch to Dakota Gaff. Blockers in front. Dakota Gaff down to the 5, inside the 5 to the 4, and if he gets to the 4, he's got a first down. It'll be close.
Looks like they might measure it. They're actually eyeballing it right now, trying to get it.
With that spot, I think he's short, but that's just me. Yeah, they say he's
Go
short.
ahead and call it third down.
3rd and inches. I don't think that's going to matter much to Valley.
No, they're going for it 3rd and 4th down in this situation.
Potter, who had those 2 big carries, then had a nice block in front of Gaff the last time. And it's Gaff up the middle. No, Conley up the middle, and he takes it down to the 2 for a first down. So Jaden Conley, the senior running back, a member of the honor roll and the basketball team, with a nice 2-yard pickup there, and it's 1st and goal for Tippecanoe Valley.
Valley just really trying to sustain these drives and keep plugging away, picking up a first down here and there. Both, like we said, both these teams are very similar. They like to run the ball, like to run the clock.
Trapedi, Gaff, bobbles, touchdown, Tippecanoe Valley. Dakota Gaff with his 7th touchdown of the year. It's sponsored by El Machete Restaurant. And the Valley Vikings strike first.
El Machete Restaurant in Akron. They say, go Vikings, beat Washington. El Machete serves American breakfast all day as well as great Mexican food. Open 6 to 3 on Sunday through Wednesday, and they're open until 7 p.m. on Thursday through Saturday. Check out El Machete on Rochester Road in Akron.
Domingo Santiago on to try the extra point. The kick is spinning, and it is good. And with 10:13 to go in the first half, Tippecanoe Valley has struck first. Dakota Gaff takes it into the end zone. 7-0 Vikings on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by South Bend Orthopedics. They're the team physicians for the University of Notre Dame since 1947. 13-play, 87-yard drive for the Tippecanoe Valley Vikings, and they get on the scoreboard thanks to a 2-yard run from that young man, Dakota Gaff.
Our four-quarter sponsor is South Bend Alumni Association. They support extracurricular activities that are no longer tax-funded so that students have the opportunity to fully develop their skills and talents and become productive members of our community. Since 2014, the SBAA has given over $300,000 to schools for these extracurricular activities. Learn more and get involved by visiting their website, www.southbendalumni.com.
Deontay Williams on the return that time for South Bend, Washington. About 17 yards on that return, takes it up to the 32. And Washington will have just its 2nd possession of the night.
Yeah, the ball control that we talked about, both these teams, and the turnover for Tippy Valley was not unprecedented. We talked about there's possibility of turnovers, but then Washington turned over on down, so technically 2 turnovers in this game, and now Washington gets their chance to run some clock and pick up the first down 1 by 1.
Washington had no problem moving the ball between the 20s the last time. We'll see what happens here with Kenyon Grant at the helm. He hands it off to Teron Bradshaw. A bit of a low handoff. Actually, is that Deontay Williams?
No, Bradshaw had the
Bradshaw
ball, but they were attacked.
They were tackling everybody.
Yep.
Bradshaw actually went down back at the 36-yard line, so only pick up a 4 on the play.
That's what you call a good fake there.
Well, the old story about Bubba Smith when he was playing for Michigan State was Duffy Doherty told him go into the backfield and tackle everybody, and one of those guys will have the ball.
Yeah.
2nd and 6. Again, it's Bradshaw crashing off the right side. He's got a first down sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation. About a 7-yard pickup that time. As Isaac Torres and Mario Garcia helping move people out of the way, you get another look courtesy of SBO. Good block, too, by the tight end, Anthony Friedrich.
Think Pyramid Equipment for your snowplow needs. It's coming. Sales, service, and installations of residential and commercial grade snowplows, parts, and salt spreaders. Pyramid offers military, police, and firemen discounts. Find them on pyramidequipmentinc.com.
Washington could not overcome a couple of penalties on their last drive. We'll see what they can do here with Deontay Williams trying to get around the corner, and he takes a dough pop from Johnny Gonzalez. The three-sport athlete Gonzalez hits Williams hard after a pickup of 5.
Again, Washington trying to get to that corner, use their speed, trying to get outside, trying to bust it loose, but Tippy Valley's doing a great job of really containing them on the outside, stretching that play out so they're not able to hit the corner and turn upfield.
2nd and 5. Syer Agnew comes in with the play from the Washington sideline. Tippecanoe Valley with a 7-0 lead here in the second quarter. Don't forget, coming up on our gas, heating, and cooling halftime report, you'll meet our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. Fumble on the snap. Who got on it? It appears, well, Valley, of course, the defense will always point and say that they have it. But the officials signal that it's Washington football, as it looks like one of the offensive linemen, Tristan Moore, an honor roll student at Washington, was able to get on the loose ball. He saw it right there by his quarterback, Kenyon Grant.
Yeah, you could just barely see there in the SBO replay, but Grant separated his hands when he was receiving that ball, and the ball shot between his hands, and he dropped it. You got to really concentrate on keeping those hands closed when you're receiving that snap.
Now Grant turns and gives it to Bradshaw, and he's got no running room this time. Jason Snap gets in there and gets him at the 48-yard line. Pick up a 1 on the play, and decision time for Todd Stamage. Given the fact that his defense just got run on 13 straight plays, I'm a little bit surprised if he goes for it here on 4th and 5.
Well, it looks like they are going to run in the play here, and a couple of their pass plays, they had guys open, they just weren't able to hit them. So I'd probably see something here where they're going to fake it to Bradshaw on the right and then maybe hit the tight end across the middle.
Javonte Wallace is the receiver down at the bottom of your screen, but it's Deontay Williams trying to get around the right side and does. First down and more, all the way down to the Tippecanoe Valley 36-yard line. Beautifully executed play by the Panthers, and they pick up 16 and a first down.
That was a great fake. They really bid on Bradshaw up the middle and was able to get to the outside. Great block there by the Washington lineman and wide receiver there as well to sustain their blocks so he could pick up just enough to get that first down.
1st and 10 from the Valley 36. Remember, Washington took it all the way to the Valley 13 on its first possession, but couldn't score. It is Grant going around the right side. Grant bouncing off tacklers like a pinball, going up for 9 yards on the play. Kenyon Grant, 3.3 GPA, had 127 yards rushing against Clay, and he shows some pretty good moves right here. So it's 2nd and 1 for Washington. Ball up to the 27-yard line. Long count. Grant will hand it off on a counter play. Deontay Williams to the outside, and he's gone. Touchdown, Washington.
There's that speed hitting that corner. Tippy was not able to seal that corner and stretch that play, and you saw right there that speed that Coach Stamage is trying to get his players on that corner because they definitely do have the advantage. Here you can see a great SBO replay. Get outside, got to that corner, didn't contain. Great job by the Washington Panthers.
A 68-yard drive that took 4 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock. Now Syer Agnew will be on to try the extra point. This has not been a strength for Washington this year. The snap a little high. Agnew does not get it to the crossbar, and Washington trails Tippecanoe Valley by a count of 7-6. 5:58 to go in the first half. Good ball game at TCU School Field tonight. Friends, this edition of the TV46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV46 for 30 years. 7-6 in favor of Tippecanoe Valley. Syer Agnew will handle the kicking duties here on the kickoff as well. Now, I know Mario Garcia is typically the Washington kicker, but watching him in warm-ups tonight, he was really struggling himself with the kicking, so I guess Todd Stamage felt like Agnew was his best possibility at that point.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that Coach Stamage might be going for 2 from here on out, and that might be something that they have to look into.
Agnew chips it out to the 40-yard line, and it'll be returned by Jaden Conley, who comes up the field to the 47. So outstanding field position here for Tippecanoe Valley, and so far in the battle of special teams, Valley is winning that facet of the game.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple times in pregame, and leading up to this point, the special teams are a huge part of this game. They both really kind of struggled in that aspect, and one of the keys for Tippy Valley to win this ball game was on special teams, getting great field position. And here again, on Washington's kickoff, Valley with the great field position.
And the fact of the matter is, the way Valley likes to run the football, very similar to Washington, this might be just about the last possession of the first half.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to sustain a drive here and Washington's not going to give up the big play, this could be the last possession of the half, as you said.
So the handoff to Jaden Conley in the backfield, but no progress made right there as Diamante Kelly comes in and makes the stop from the linebacker position. Diamante, a 3-sport athlete at Washington, shot, discus, and wrestling, and he had help on the play from Elijah Reynolds, excuse me.
Garrick Dieter was a 2012 Washington graduate, 4A Player of the Year, great Alabama standout. Now he's a Kansas City Chief Receiver. He's a proud supporter of the Panthers tonight, and his Dieter Dream Team Foundation was a great sponsor for us tonight.
We appreciate their support. Here's the pitch to Dakota Gaff in the backfield. Gets by one tackler, couldn't get by everybody. Terrence Johnson comes up and lays the lumber to him. And Johnson, a 6'3", 255-pound junior, leaves no doubt on that tackle. You'll see it again from SBO.
The Panthers playing with a little bit more urgency right now after that last score. Their defense really stepping up, playing with a little bit more emotion and belief that they can win this game. You can see it here. They're really getting a lot of push up front.
You'll remember one of the keys that Todd Stamage gave us was force Valley into passing situations. Well, here they are. Let's see how the Washington defense responds as Trapiti rolls to his right. Shoots it down the field and has his man. That's Potter down at the 41-yard line for a first down. Jalen Potter with his 32nd catch of the year and his second of the night. And that one on 3rd and 11 is good for 13 yards and a first down.
I think one of the big things there is Washington wasn't able to get any pressure on him at all, and he had all the time in the world to throw that pass and just kind of lobbed it up over the defender, and good enough for the first down.
Huge 3rd down conversion there for Valley. It is 1st and 10 at the Washington 41. Trapiti pitches back to Conley. Conley off the left side, still on his feet. Conley with a first down, getting a big shove from his lineman, taking it up inside the 30.
Got a couple Washington players collided. They're actually down on the ground right now. One of them looks like Williams.
Arthur Taylor down on the field at the defensive end spot, and the clock stopped with 4:17 as you get a look at that rugby scrum that wound up pushing Conley all the way to the 30. The trainer out on the field to take a look at Taylor. So let's look at what we've got for you coming up on Pulse FM on Saturday, as we've got another Big Ten doubleheader for you. Purdue takes on that surprising Illinois team. Lovie Smith's squad knocked off Wisconsin during homecoming last week. Can they go into Ross-Ade and beat the Boilermakers? That's Saturday at noon, and it's followed by Indiana. All of a sudden looking like a potential bowl team, going into Lincoln, Nebraska, and taking on the Cornhuskers. We'll see if Tom Allen's team can get another big road victory. That comes your way Saturday at 3:30 on your home for Big Ten football and basketball. That's Pulse FM.
Big weekend of college football this weekend. That one of them to lead the way, and a couple other big ones this weekend as well.
Arthur Taylor hobbling off the field under his own power and gets a nice hand from the supportive Washington crowd, but he does look a little worse for wear as he's coming off.
Gast Heating and Cooling in Akron. They're proud supporters of the Vikings. Gast Heating and Cooling serves Fulton, Kosciuszko, Marshall, Miami, and Wabash County homes and businesses. They specialize in water furnace geothermal products. Visit gastheatingcooling.com for more information. That's Gast, G-A-S-T, heatingcooling.com.
Steve Moriarty, his wife, the track coach at Tippecanoe Valley for both the boys and the girls. He's the football coach, and he watches his football team take it on 1st and 10 from the 30 for about a 4-yard pickup, as it was Jacob Ehrenman on the carry again, his second of the night. Valley has really spread the wealth in its offense tonight. Nobody has had more than 6 carries, and nobody has more than 33 yards, and yet they have a 1-point lead. 2nd and 6 from the Washington 26. Ehrenman in there at fullback. Trapedi on the option, pitches back to Conley. Conley working his way back, just runs into the defensive tackle and knocked him over, and winds up taking it down to the 20 for a first down.
Valley's done a great job of really having their cutbacks be successful tonight. Here you can see another one. Great cutback coming back up the field, really hitting it hard, right up the seam, picking up the yardage, enough yardage for the first down. Be 1st and 10, right at the 20-yard line for Tippy. Not in a hurry here, plenty of time, just over 3 minutes to go.
He took Big Anthony Blake back a couple of yards that time. So 1st and 10. Trapedi hands it off. Dakota Gaff trying to get around the outside. Got around one man, and Gaff, with a burst of speed, takes it up to about the 13-yard line. A 7-yard pickup for the Valley senior.
Jonesy's Junction says, "Go Vikings." They're open for lunch, dinner, offering dine-in and carry-out. Check out the buffet dinner, great burgers, and huge tenderloins. They're awesome pizza as well. Find out Jones's is rated 4.9 out of 5. Jones's Junction in Akron.
All right, Jonesy's. Happy to have them on board. What a stiff arm on that play by Gaff that time. 8-yard pickup. It's 2nd and 2, and the handoff up the middle. Conley with another first down inside the 10 to the 8. Kenyon Grant had to come up and make the tackle. But Valley just running the ball at will right now and trying to take Washington's will away.
Yeah, Washington, their first 2 plays of this drive really stung Valley in the backfield, held them to a 3rd and long, and that big pass play set up the rest of this drive.
So 1st and goal from the 8 as we approach the 2-minute mark of the first half. I formation here for the Vikings. Trapedi will give it off to Gaff. Big hole up the middle. Touchdown, Tippecanoe Valley, is 2nd of the night. Dakota Gaff had a canyon to run through here at TCU School Field.
Yeah, he came up through that line, had a big hole by the Hosses up front. Way to read it, way to hit the hole hard. He kept his feet going, kept that motor running, and crossed that goal line for the 2nd score tonight for the Vikings.
And now Domingo Santiago on to try the extra point out of the hold of Tanner Trapedi.
Well, if you need to get back in the game, get back in the game with South Bend Orthopedics. Their team physicians are for the University of Notre Dame. They've been there since 1947.
Santiago pushes it off to the right, and it's a 7-point margin for Valley as we get another look at the Gaff touchdown from down low. And man, the blocking that he got from Wade Melanson and Michael Sexton just opened up a huge hole that time for Gaff.
Still plenty of time for Washington to score because they do have some speed guys. They can hit some big plays. We'll look for them to maybe not quite try to do the bomb down the field on the sidelines for the long passes. They're going to try to hit some quick little short passes if they do throw the ball at all.
53-yard drive that took 4:03 off the clock that time. So back-to-back touchdown drives for Tippecanoe Valley. And they have a 13-6 lead. It will be interesting to see how Todd Stamich manages this last minute 50 of the first half, because Valley gets the ball to start the second half.
Yep, and South Bend does have 3 timeouts to spare here in the first half as well. So they still have plenty of time. The clock stops in high school on first downs.
Santiago will do the kickoff here for Tippecanoe Valley. And Santiago's boot goes sailing over and taken by Kenyon Grant right along the sideline at the 7. And Grant decided that ball wasn't going to go out of bounds, so he picked it up trying to make something happen and could only get it to the 23. Great job of kicking that time by Santiago, and we go back to the special teams emphasis.
Yeah, I mean, they're winning the special teams for sure. And that ball, I mean, definitely looked like it was going out of bounds, but then after when it hit, it looked like it just kind of popped straight up in the air, and so Grant had to go ahead and grab it, pick up some yards, so they have a long distance go here at the minute 48.
This is not a Washington team that throws the ball terribly effectively. But we'll see if they try to air it out a little bit here with Kenyon Grant at quarterback. He's going to turn and hand it off to Deontay Williams, and Williams gets about a pickup of 1 on the play before he's smashed to the turf. And it looked like it was Harry Johnston who made the stop, as you'll get another look from SBO.
Yeah, that's the play they ran for the touchdown just down here at the other end on their last drive. They're hoping to maybe pick up some big yards in that play, maybe setting something up where they do a double fake here and then hit a pass on that with Bradshaw out of the backfield.
And now we have a whistle blown and a little problem over on the sideline with the chain. So they'll reset the play clock. Only 1:15 to go here in the first half. Grant looking to throw. Heaves it down the field, and there's some pass interference on Dakota Calf. I mean, he made it really easy. He tackled Anthony Friedrich as the ball was headed his way.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one of those where he's just like, I'm beat, I'm just going to go ahead and tackle him and bring him down. And, you know, high school, it's 15-yard penalty. It's not a spot foul. So go ahead and bring him down and be an automatic first down for Washington.
Grant threw a beautiful ball out there. Friedrich did appear to be behind Gaff, and so maybe Gaff makes the smart play there and just hauls him down, because 15 yards is nothing compared to what it could have been.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure Gaff didn't see anybody over the top. There was another DB coming over the top, but he couldn't see that right away, and he didn't want to give up that big play. Might have been a smart play on his half.
First down sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation. Grant keeps it himself on the option, gets out of bounds to stop the clock after a pickup of about 2.
Teachers Credit Union understands the importance of growing your future. Whether you're growing your family, your square footage, or your business, Teachers Credit Union is here for you with financial solutions that will help you succeed. Visit tcunet.com to start growing your future today. They're federally insured by the NCUA, and they're an equal housing opportunity.
1:04 to go before halftime. Washington down by 7. Grant keeps it himself, trying to get around the left side, and does. Kenyon Grant for a first down into Valley territory at the 48. Pickup of 10 on the play, and a first down sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation.
Another great job, really hitting the corner. They see Coach Stamage calls his first timeout of the half. He's still got 2 left as they cross midfield here with just under a minute to go in the first half.
So with 58.7 seconds left before halftime, you would think that Washington would try to air it out a little bit. But Steve Moriarty knows this, so does Todd Stamage. Throwing the football has been a real problem for the Washington Panthers this year. They have only 1 more completion than they have thrown interceptions coming into the game.
Well, we saw it last week, and you called it at the end of the New Prairie Central game. Just over a minute to go, tie game at that time. Does New Prairie throw the ball? They're not quite a passing team, even though Kettering can throw the ball pretty well. Do they try to move the ball and pass the ball, and they end up turning the ball over? Central kicks a field goal, wins the ball game. Now, this is only the first half, but they're up by a score at this point. Do they take a chance at throwing an interception?
Well, Washington down by a score at this point. And here's the thing, with Valley getting the ball and having run it as effectively as they have in the first half, this is a huge possession here for Washington. Let's see what they do with it as they give it off to Deontay Williams, and Williams trying to work his way through traffic. Williams needs some help to get the first down and does. past the 38-yard line. Another first down sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation. Pickup 11 for Deontay, who has 65 yards on 7 carries here in the first half.
I think Coach Stamich would have rather maybe be short of the first down and go out of bounds in that situation. He could have picked up about 7 yards in that situation and ran out of bounds.
Because the clock runs here.
Yep, as long as they can get the play in quick. They got the play in, but the clock is started.
Well, there's a lot of confusion right now on that Washington team. Grant hands it off. No, he throws it deep and over the head of the intended receiver who was looking for Javion Brown. Nice pull out that time by Grant.
Yeah, and it looked like he had the receiver open and kind of put it pretty close to him. It just went right through the hands of the receiver, who was kind of confused coming in on that play as well. Didn't know what the play was and where he was supposed to be.
Well, he did get behind Jaden Conley, but then he couldn't get his head in the right position to see the football coming in.
Yeah.
So 2nd and 10 with 31 seconds left. Grant will hand it off. Deontay Williams trying to slash his way through that hole. He's going to battle for yardage, pick up about 5, and Todd Stamich will use a timeout here at the 31-yard line with 24 seconds left in the first half.
And I think one of the big things with Washington as well is they do not have any type of a field goal attempt team where they can go out and kick anything from anywhere. They have to score a touchdown in this situation. So expect them to try to maybe pick up the first down here in the next 2 plays, but then after that, they need to start hitting some to the end zone.
Yeah, in a season where we have seen some terrific kickers around the area, they're not here at School Field tonight.
Yeah, one of them over at Marion just signed with Washington State, I believe you sent out.
Yeah, congratulations to Hunter Renner, the Marion kicker, who comes up with a Washington State scholarship and will kick for Mike Leach. Some updates on some other scores around the area. West Noble with a 19-0 lead at halftime on John Glenn. Jimtown also with a 19-0 lead, coincidentally enough, as they lead Garrett. The winner of that Jimtown-Garrett game plays the winner of this game next Friday night in the sectional semifinals. And actually, Jimtown has just expanded the lead to 27-0. Here it's Grant on a quarterback sneak up the middle. Grant tackled by Jason Snap after he gets the first down up to the 22-yard line. Boy, not often you're going to see a QB sneak go for 8 yards, but that's what you get right there. First down. And now
Todd's going to call his 3rd timeout here. I think this is a situation where you called your last timeout. You need to line up the next 2 to 3 plays right here in this situation, at least the next 2.
Well, and they have to be passing plays at this point. What you would have ideally done was have your quarterback and your team go up and clock the ball right there, and then it's 2nd and 10, but you haven't burned the timeout, and it leaves you some more options.
Well, and then you're able to use the middle of the field on maybe the tight end, or maybe do some type of end-around play where you still have that ability to call that last timeout.
Steve Moriarty talking things over with the lead official, Tim Holmes, and just wanting to make sure that the timeout count is accurate. Over at Clay Field, Elkhart Central with a 14-0 lead on South Bend Adams. Here it's 13-6 Tippecanoe Valley with 18.5 seconds left first half. 1st and 10 from the 24. Kenyon Grant hands it off to Deontay Williams, who can't get to the outside. The tackle made at the 25. Washington will try to go up and clock the ball here. Clock ticking, you see it bottom right corner of the Intera Credit Union scoreboard. Grant's not going to clock it. They're going to try to run the ball. No, Grant throws it to Friedrich, and it's incomplete.
Oh,
and a flag comes in. Remember, the half cannot end on a penalty.
Yep, they're going to call pass interference on Graft on that play, I believe. And the tight end was right there at the goal line. No time on the clock, but they will have to run one more play here before the half ends.
Jalen Potter is the player found guilty of the pass interference. It'll be a half the distance to the goal line penalty, which will take it down to about the 12-yard line. And an untimed down will be played here at the end of the first half.
Yeah, again, luckily it's not a spot foul, and down at the 2-yard line, it's only half the distance. Taking down the place at just outside the 12-yard line.
Contact was made just slightly before the ball got there, but it was a very close play. So from the 12, what does Todd Stamich call right here? Sierra Agnew comes in with the play from the sidelines and gives it to Kenyon Grant. If you've got one up your sleeve, maybe you use it right here. Agnew, the receiver, at the bottom of your screen. Play action. Grant throwing for the end zone. Agnew, touchdown, Washington. What a catch by Sierra Agnew.
Great job. Maybe just a little push off offensive, but great job, great touch.
We'll see a sideline warning given to Washington, but they don't care.
Yeah.
And now, after the failed extra point the first time, another big decision for Todd Stamich. Agnew got great position on Conley that time and almost like going up for a rebound.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of boxed him out a little bit, got his arm bar up there so he couldn't get field position, and kind of slowed up just a little bit to give him the room to really reach out and get that. And here you can see they're running in the play to go for 2 here and take the lead to go into half.
So a 12-yard touchdown pass, and now Tippecanoe Valley will use a timeout sponsored by El Machete Restaurant so that Steve Moriarty can set his defense against the potential 2-point conversion.
Yeah, if you got the timeouts to use there, it's a great job to go ahead and call the timeout, see what kind of setup they have out there, and get your defensive lined up properly.
Here's the look from ground level, and look at this beautiful ball thrown on the run by Grant. And Agnew with a very athletic catch, only his 4th catch of the year, his first touchdown.
Yeah, not only on the run, but across his body to the backside as well. Just a great job of really turning his lower half to get his shoulders turned, to be able to throw that ball with some touch in that corner.
And give Washington credit. We had, quite frankly, dogged them a little bit about their inability to throw the football. 2 pass interference penalties, which may as well be completions, helped keep that drive going. And then a big-time throw by Grant there for the touchdown. For Kenyon, that's his 4th touchdown pass of the season. So now, lots of things Todd Stamich could do here for the 2-point conversion to try to grab the lead at halftime. Bradshaw and Williams are the backs of the backfield behind Grant. Grant up the middle himself. He got the 2-point conversion. He went right behind Tristan Moore, and Malik Kelly gets the 2-point conversion, and the Washington Panthers go into halftime elated with a 14-13 lead. What an exciting first half here at TCU School Field, and you have to think a heck of a lot more is coming up. We've got a lot to talk about on the Gas Heating and Cooling halftime report, including our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. Dakota Gaff with 2 touchdowns in the half, but Deontay Williams had 1, Sierra Agnew had another, and it's 14-13 Washington at the break on 46. Halftime here at School Field in downtown South Bend. Time to meet our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. And it is brought to us by our friends at Teachers Credit Union. Find out how you can be a member. Go online to tcunet.com. 2 outstanding representatives of their academic institutions, Hannah Engstrand from Tippecanoe Valley, and we have Mario Garcia from South Bend, Washington. Let's start with the visitors. Hannah plays tennis, she plays volleyball, and is ranked 4th in her class at Tippecanoe Valley High School. My goodness, that's an awesome load to carry. How do you figure out how to budget out all your time with that?
If I'm not playing sports or if I have free time in class, I always make sure my homework's done and that I'm studying for everything.
And obviously getting the job done. So I assume that value didn't just show up on your radar somehow. Somebody had to put those values into you. Who's your support system?
My parents and my coaches have always had high standards for me, and I just feel the need to live up to those standards that they set for me.
You feel like you're self-motivated, though?
Sometimes, yes. I want to be the best I can be, and when it gets rough, they're always there to push me to be a better version.
What happens when you leave Tippecanoe Valley High School at the end of the year? What's in your future?
I'm looking to study psychology or child psychology. Those kind of things fascinate me a lot, and I think that would be a good fit for me.
What is it that fascinates you about them?
Just how people are raised, like how they turn out, just the psychology behind all of that.
Very good. Looking forward to seeing what you do with that in the future. That's Hannah Engstrom from Tippecanoe Valley High School. Over here, this wee little fella is Mario Garcia. He is an outstanding tackle on this team, also the kicker, and has an outstanding GPA as well, on the honor roll in the nursing program at Washington High School. I know that takes a lot of your time. Football certainly takes a lot of your time. How do you balance it all out?
Well, basically, like I said, a student before an athlete, I just always try to do my homework right before practice, if not right after practice, and just make sure I'm always a student before an athlete.
And who instilled that value into you?
Basically, my coaches, and basically, I got a big shout out to my parents, because they, ever since I was a young little fella, I was always an honor roll student, and they always wanted me to keep going as an honor roll student throughout high school as well.
And I can tell just by looking at you here, you have a strong faith too. You're wearing a rosary around your neck as you warm up here tonight.
Yes, my grandma passed away 2 years ago with breast cancer, and she's always been basically my motivation to always keep going, keep moving forward.
Which also explains the pink ribbon that you have on the back of your helmet. As you look forward to your life after Washington High School, where do you think you're going to wind up going to college, and obviously studying nursing at the next level, I imagine?
Yes, I'll be studying nursing, but still undecided right now, but I'm definitely going to be playing college football somewhere out there.
What has the Medical Magnet program meant for you, and how has it helped you?
It's helped me open up my eyes. Like, there's people out there that can't play football and like have stuff like be out here on this field like us, and I'm grateful to be out here.
Great representative of Washington High School, Mario Garcia, alongside Hannah Engstrom. These are our Teachers Credit Union Student Athletes of the Week. So, of course, they're brought to us by our friends at TCU. Find out how you can become a member. Visit them online at tcunet.com. When we return to TCU School Field, we'll have halftime highlights and stats. You're watching the TV46 High School Football Game of the Week. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by the electrical workers of Local 153. They're making our communities brighter. Halftime here at TCU School Field, and we have seen an electrifying first half, 14-13 in favor of the Washington Panthers over Tippecanoe Valley in this first-round sectional matchup. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt high above the fray. Your thoughts on the first half?
I think it's exactly what we expected. That's why we're here tonight. Two very evenly teams, two teams that are very proficient on the offensive side of the ball, and we saw that tonight. A lot of running on both sides of both teams.
Well, let's show you how it got to be this way at TCU School Field as we look at our first half highlights, and you'll see Steve Moriarty liked running the football with Dakota Gaff. Why not? 87-yard drive capped by that Gaff 2-yard touchdown. Valley grabbed the 7-0 lead, but back comes Washington. Kenyon Grant spinning around, and then Deontay Williams takes it on in for the score. And the missed extra point here by Washington would look costly at the time. They were trailing 7-6. Back comes Gaff with another nice run, a great stiff arm there, and then big hole up the middle, takes it on in for the score, but the extra point fails. 13-6 Valley. Only a couple minutes left in the half. Kenyon Grant, quarterback sneak for a first down, and then look at this pass to Sierra Agnew at the end of the first half. Great catch. Agnew hangs on, then Grant goes in on the quarterback sneak for the 2-point conversion, and it's 14-13 Washington at the half. And Bo, the stats are as even as the score.
Yeah, both teams are 6-3 on the year, and you would think that's what we'd get coming into this game. You can see those stats. What a great job by both teams rushing the football, 126 to 156, evenly there. And you go total yards, difference of about 25 yards. That's it. Penalties about the same. The one turnover but South Bend did turn it over on downs as well. So, I mean, that kind of evens out. Time of possession, pretty similar as well.
The two Valley penalties were huge, though, because one kept the half alive, and that untimed first down is what Washington was able to cash in for the touchdown to take the lead at the half.
Yeah, when we talked about the passing game for both these teams not being the best out there, but yet Valley was able to let their passing game be effective by those two pass interference calls.
Beautiful night here in downtown South Bend and a great football game here in the city. 14-13, Washington leads Valley. This has been the Gas Heating and Cooling Halftime Report on TV 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Well, everybody tries to stay warm at School Field tonight, including the crew. I think perhaps a dance class needs to be held for Mr. Killalay, especially up there.
Are you teaching it? No, I'm sure not teaching it. Maybe
Well, I'll tell you what, the moves that Kenyon Grant had in
There
the
you
first
go.
half might be dance-worthy. Let's talk about the adjustments Steve Moriarty's got to make here at halftime with the Bills Heating Sideline Report with Bo, and your thoughts on what kind of adjustments you might see from both teams, really.
I think the biggest thing is defensively, you might see a little bit more aggression, maybe a little bit more blitzes, maybe bring in a little bit more linebackers up. You got to have some stops because both these teams are really just moving the ball almost at will. On the offensive side, nobody's really stopped anybody except for that first drive by Washington. They pretty much stopped themselves on a couple bad plays. So look for the defense to maybe make some adjustments. Offensively, I think they're both just getting in their game plan, staying with their game plan. I'm sure each coach has a few tricks up their sleeves to maybe do some reverses or some different types of pass plays and everything. But look for them to stay the same on offense. Defensively, though, maybe just step it up, be a little bit more aggressive, and call some more blitzes, I think.
Well, the third quarter about to begin, and I have to apologize for a mistake that I was making late in the first half when I said Valley would get the ball to start the second half. Washington deferred its option to the second half and kicked off to begin the game. So it'll be Washington kicking off or receiving the kickoff here to start the second half.
Our four-quarter sponsor is South Bend Alumni Association. We'd like to thank the South Bend Alumni Association for sponsoring our four quarters tonight as we get ready here to kick off in the second half of this Class 3A sectional open round game between Tippy Valley and South Bend, Washington. Two very similar teams, two teams that we thought would have a classic here tonight, and definitely having a instant classic at this point between these two games.
We shall see if it continues that one as Domingo Santiago gets ready to kick it off here for the Valley Vikings. Third quarter brought to us by the South Bend Alumni Association. High spinning boot taken back at the 15-yard line. Kenyon Grant weaving his way up the field. Grant all the way to his own 46. A dynamic return by the Washington quarterback, 31 yards, and the Panthers sitting pretty on the first possession of the third quarter.
Yeah, you can see a great SBO replay of it. Following his blocks well, guys getting upfield, and another great field position for the Panthers. Both these teams have really not had bad field positions to start each drive.
By the way, I know a lot of you following on the live stream tonight, sponsored by Bills Heating, wondering Elkhart Central has a 21-0 lead on Adams over at Clay Field. Grant under center. And he will turn and hand it off to Teron Bradshaw, who gets bulldogged down that time by Harry Johnston after a pickup of 2 on the play. Harry Johnston, a member of the Tippecanoe Valley baseball team where he is a pitcher, but you talk to the people around the Valley program, he has been the leader of this offensive and defensive line so far this season.
Yeah, I know you talked about when you went over to practice to watch them over there, it kind of seemed like people kind of congregated towards him and, you know, really followed his lead and what he had to say when they were in the practice.
It's a handoff up the middle, and Teron Bradshaw is tripped up again by Johnston as he just gets past the midfield stripe. And Bradshaw so far tonight, 10 carries, 54 yards. Washington has been effective once again running the football tonight.
Yeah, they're giving Bradshaw up the middle, then they'll hit Williams or give it to Williams on the kind of the counter backside play, and that's been kind of their two plays back and forth. And Coach Sammy talks about it, is they want to do the same thing over and over and make the other team be disciplined enough to stop it.
Let's see if Grant rolls out a little bit here. Though he dropped the football, and it looks like Valley might have it. Jason Snap with the recovery at the Washington 41-yard line. So Justin Snap pounces on the loose change, and the Vikings are in business after the first Washington turnover of the night.
Well, I was trying to look where he lost the ball, and I was looking at the wrong guy on that SBO replay, and it looked like he just had it out, and it hit somebody as it was going by. We saw that a little bit in their pregame where Grant dropped a few balls on some handoffs, and we were like, yeah, that's what they're worried about right there. Big
So
turnover.
let's see if Valley can take advantage here. In Washington territory, it's Conley on the carry for about 5 before he is tripped up by one of the Washington linebackers. It was Arthur Taylor who's back in the game after being injured earlier. Pick up a 5 on the play. Well, turnovers have really been the bane of Valley's existence, particularly in recent weeks. But here they're able to benefit from a turnover, and let's see if they can cash it in and take the lead. 2nd and 5, the pitch to Dakota Gaff, trying to run away from Xavier Brown Douglas, and he'll have none of it.
No siree. Gaff tried to get to the outside, and instead of running forward, he cuts it back a little bit. Big 3rd down and long play here. He had nowhere to go on that play.
Look at the pursuit from Douglas, the 205-pound senior who blocked a couple of punts in their win over Clay. Man, did he show a burst there. So it's 3rd and 9.
See if Tippy goes to their passing offense here. And the last time we did this, they rolled out.
And they'll do it again with Tanner Trapiti. He's got room to run, and he may have gone past the line of scrimmage, but the pass is completed, and
Flag
it should be
comes
a
out.
touchdown, except the flag came out. Trapiti was past the line of scrimmage.
Yep, the one ref threw the bag down of where he threw the ball.
We'll try to catch it here on the SBO replay. The line of scrimmage was back at about the 45.5-yard line. And let's take another look on the SBO replay and watch Trapiti. I mean, basically, if he gets past the 45.5, he can't throw it. He pumps, and yeah, he's standing well past the 45 when he throws it.
Yeah, his feet are. The ball is actually behind it, but when he releases it, it's one of those questions. If your feet go over, they're going to call it.
Right.
So he was right at that line of scrimmage, and, you know, great pass. Guy was open, but now it's going to bring up, it's a loss of down on that play as well. So they're actually move it back, 5-yard penalty and a loss of down.
Well, here's something we haven't seen all night, a punt. Tanner Trapiti will line up in punt formation with the ball spotted just on the Washington side of midfield. Deontay Williams is back deep to receive. Trapiti does punt it. You always have to worry when the quarterback's doing it. Williams makes a staggering catch at the 18, gets to the outside, and gets thrown out of bounds at the 29-yard line after an 11-yard return.
Looked like Trapiti came down and made the tackle on that play, too. He not only punted the ball at quarterback on the team, but he actually made the tackle on that play as well.
How often do you see the punter make the tackle that far downfield?
That far
Usually
downfield,
he's
yeah.
the safety man.
Yeah, that's why I always like to just punt it out of bounds so we didn't have a return.
So Washington survives the turnover just as Valley did in the first quarter. And the Panthers will take over 1st and 10 at their own 29.
For 60 years, Imagineering Finishing Technologies has been the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. They set the standard for industry, including automotive, medical, aerospace, and military defense. Go to iftworldwide.com for more info. IFT is our national accreditation and worldwide respect. Like the teams in tonight's game, we're working for a great finish.
Deontay Williams with the carry that time for South Bend, Washington, as he takes it up to the 30, Now they're going to spot it at the 32-yard line. That's a pickup of 3 for Williams, who has had a very good night running the football. That's his 10th carry, and he now has 73 yards on the night. He's the
really
leading ground gainer on the night.
Really mix it in between Williams and Bradshaw and Grant in the backfield running it as well. So 3 guys really taking care of the offensive rushing for them.
And remember, Williams getting the start tonight because Marquise Bates is out with a rib injury. Here's Grant trying to spin away from people. He's elusive. He had to do a lot of moves just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's really hard to tackle. He's very elusive there. He's usually able to get away from that first or second tackle, but when that big hoss right there gets a hold of you and gets his paws on you, look out.
That is Trey Hardesty, all 6'2", 347 pounds of the junior. He was not about to let Mr. Grant escape that time. So it's 3rd and 7. Grant will keep it and throw, and incomplete. He was trying to get it out to Devon Braggs, and it's incomplete, or Devon Briggs, excuse me. Incomplete, and it'll be 4th down, and now Washington will punt for the first time tonight.
The South Bend Alumni Association is a proud champion for extracurricular activities in the South Bend School Corporation, and they've supported students for over 3 decades. Last year alone, they gave over $30,000 in scholarship money to graduates of the South Bend schools. Learn more and get involved by visiting their website, www.southbendalumni.com.
Kicking has been an issue. High snap. Syer Agnew, though, with a nice kick. Trapiti makes the fair catch signal back at the 41-yard line. So a good job by Syer Agnew there, even though it's only a 27-yard punt. No returns. 7:36 to go, 3rd quarter. It's still Washington by 1 on 46. And this edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Imagineering Finishing Technology, IFT, where quality is a way of life. Chuck Fraby and Bo Hunt back at TCU School Field. Washington on top of Tippecanoe Valley by a 14-13 count. Valley on its 2nd possession of the 3rd quarter gives it off to the second man through for a pickup of 7 on the play, as that was Jalen Potter on the carry for the 3rd time tonight.
A little similar to the first quarter of this game as well. I mean, neither team scored. All the points were scored in the 2nd quarter. First quarter was a little bit of back and forth, and that's what we've had here to start the 2nd half as well. A little back and forth to see who busts through first to get that first score of the 2nd half.
2nd and 3. They put Conley in motion and give it to him, and Conley gets stacked up and brought down in the backfield. He may have been fortunate enough to get back to the line of scrimmage. Good swarming tackling that time by the Washington defense. Arthur Taylor with another stop. You'll get another look from SBO.
It was a great job, really. That first guy came in, didn't wrap up, and he really got to the outside. But look at all those guys. 4 or 5 guys coming up, finishing that tackle. What a great job, a great pursuit by that defense by the Panthers.
Kenyon Grant was the one who got him around the ankles. It's 3rd and 2, midway through the 3rd quarter. Trapiti hands it off, and a 1st down for Tippecanoe Valley into Washington territory at the 48-yard line, as Jacob Ehrenman is on the carry that time for the 1st down, a pickup of 4 on the play.
St. Andrews Products has joined our team with the finest in promotional products, advertising specialties, business gifts, and apparel. Call 800-628-9922 or email them at sales@standrewscorp.com. Your expectations become our standards, and our answer is always yes. Now, what is the question?
Whistles blown at the beginning of the play, and an offside call made against South Bend, Washington will make it 1st and 5 for Valley. The 4th penalty on the Panthers tonight, all of them have been either motion or offsides.
Yeah, I think that's the one difference we had talked about a little bit in the 2nd half was the penalties for these teams. And Washington, or Tippy, made 2 big pass interference penalties, and now Washington's on the other end of that, making a couple penalties here in the 2nd half that are not too uncommon for them.
1st and 5, let's see if that opens up the playbook at all for Tippy Valley here with Steve Moriarty. Take a chance that you might not otherwise take.
We haven't seen many big changes to the offense for either one of these 2 teams.
You're not going to see it here either. Dakota Gaff trying to get around the outside, and again, Xavier Brown Douglas with terrific pursuit from the defensive end.
Yeah, we've seen some great pursuit here in the second half, and what we talked about, maybe some adjustments for both these teams, especially on defense, was their pursuit and really being a little bit more aggressive on that defensive side.
Brown Douglas really credits Todd Stamich with changing the attitude around the Washington program. And that's one of the things that Todd worked on in this first season, is trying to change the mindset of this team that had gone 3-7 3 straight years. It's 2nd and 5, and the handoff to the tailback Conley, who buries his head down and picks up 4 yards on the play. Roberto Toronis makes the stop that time. Roberto, one of 7 siblings in his family.
That's a full house of a lot of probably bickering and arguing back and forth of who gets the remote and who gets the shower first.
I find it interesting that Roberto is interested in a career in dentistry because he probably sees how many times they have to go as a family. 3rd and 1. Here's the handoff again to the tailback Gaff, and he's at the outside. Gaff gets knocked out of bounds, and a flag comes in, maybe a face mask here against Washington.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can maybe see there down at the end with that flag was maybe a face mask or a horse collar. But what a great job by Gaff, really reading that hole, getting through the hole, busting to the outside, turning the corner. Big pickup, big game tonight for Gaff.
That's a 22-yard pickup. That might be Valley's longest play of the night. Then a face mask is added on half the distance, and it'll be 1st and goal for Valley. As you look at Gaff, just getting his way to the outside. And it really required a fine play by Keshawn Donald, even though he grabbed the face mask to bring him down. So 1st and goal from the 8.
Yeah, the replay really didn't show much there unless he came across it on the tackle, because we couldn't see anything there. It looked like they grabbed the back of his shoulder pad and actually come around. But we didn't have the privilege of the great view that the ref did on that play.
Conley and Ehrenman in the backfield behind Trapiti. The senior quarterback gets under center and hands it off to Jaden Conley, who buries his head and gets to the 5. Kenyon Grant on the stop.
Craig Welding in Mentone is a proud supporter of the Vikings. Whether you need CNC work, portable welding, or custom fabrications, call Craig Welding in Mentone or visit craigwelding.com.
So it's 2nd and goal from the 5. Washington leading by a mere point, but Valley knocking on the door to try to regain the lead. They had it for most of the first half. Trapiti, the pitch. Gaff can't get to the end zone this time. Toronis makes the stop again, this time at the 1, and it'll be 3rd and goal from there.
Great pressure up front by the Panthers, but really you can see right here they got through the line and got the pressure, but a good job of really getting that ball to the outside on that pitch. Good play call. They got the pressure up the middle, but they were able to hit the off tackle there.
Gaff with a little hitch in his giddy up as he goes off to the sideline. So 3rd and goal. Valley will get in behind the center, Jackson snap. Johnson and Melanson the guards. Trapiti tries to wedge it in on the quarterback sneak, and he's in for the touchdown. Touchdown Vikings. Tanner Trapiti surges in for his 7th touchdown of the season.
It looks like Moriarty is going to go for 2. He was field goal team's getting ready to run on the field, and he was waving them back. He's keeping their offense out there.
Well, he wants to get up by 7, and I'm not sure how much great confidence he has right here in the kicking game. So you'll see Jace Potter come in with the play from the sideline.
And Gaff is not in there. I did see him on the sidelines. He was
No, it's Trapiti
it's
coming in with the
coming
play
in.
from
Yep.
the sideline.
He was limping over there on the sidelines, as you said, when he came off and went over to the bench for a second.
So let's see what Steve Moriarty calls here, leading 19-14 late in the 3rd quarter. Jaden Conley, the tail of the tandem, and they pitch to Conley. He cuts it inside, and he's wrapped up by Deontay Williams. So the conversion fails, and Tippecanoe Valley leads this football game by a count of 19-14 after a solid drive down the field. They went 59 yards for the drive for the touchdown, and here you see Trapiti on the quarterback sneak. Again, Jasson snap. We had a fumble recovery earlier in the third. Leads the way there, but then Deontay Williams able to beat the block that time and come over and get Jaden Conley.
He's been a force on defense, really hitting that corner coming up. And, you know, if he can really continue to do that, he's going to be a nemesis in that backfield all night long for this Valley Viking defense or offense. The Dieter Dream Foundation is a proud sponsor in tonight's game, founded by Garrig and his wife Meg. Their mission is to positively impact the lives of disadvantaged youth and neglected animals. The Dieter Dream Foundation wishes the Panthers the best of luck in tonight's game.
Speaking of Panthers, congratulations to Northwood. They beat Wawasee tonight 49-3 to move on in the Class 4A sectional. Elkhart Central now up on Adams 35-0 in the fourth quarter. Domingo Santiago's spinning kick will be fielded by Deontay Williams. Well, he drops it at the 12, picks it up. Williams trying to get to the outside and does. Williams to the 36-yard line before he's taken out of bounds. There's a flag on the play back at the 31. Way on the other side of the field from what was happening. So this is going to be one of those penalties, no matter who it's on, that's going to drive a coach nuts.
Yeah, because it's one of those that looks like they're tripping on the Washington on the receiving team. But, yeah, again, something on the far side that has no effect on the play whatsoever.
And they signal who the penalty was on over to the Washington bench. Tripping is, I believe, a 15-yard penalty.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Insurance One Services. Good luck tonight, Vikings. Local agents Craig Dirks and Todd Helvey have served Akron and Mentone for over 30 years and can help with all your home, auto, business, and life insurance needs. Call Insurance One Services or visit insuranceoneservices.com.
Only a 10-yard penalty, but still costly to Washington. They have to start at their own 21-yard line. Kenyon Grant calling the signals tonight for the Panthers. Grant hands it off to Ron Bradshaw, trying to spin away from people, but he goes right into a cadre of white jerseys there, and only a pickup of one on the play for Bradshaw. They've done a pretty good job of limiting him tonight. He had one carry for 12 yards early in the game, but on the night, 11 carries, 55 yards.
Well, we talked about the big boys up front and how this was going to almost be determined in the trenches, and you can see that tonight. Really, Tippy Valley's defense is stepping up here in the second half and stopping that Bradshaw gains up the middle.
On 2nd and 8, here's a run up the middle by Bradshaw, and he's got the first down and more up to the 33-yard line. Pickup of 10 that play for Bradshaw. And Teron Bradshaw, who is a sprinter on the track team and an honor roll student, certainly gets an A for effort on that one.
Yeah, I mean, he got hit and he picked up at least 7 yards after contact, and what a great job there. He's carrying and spinning, and you can see Grant do that as the backfield as well. I mean, just they do a great job of spinning away, picking up 3, 4, maybe even 5 extra yards after that first contact.
1st and 10. And another handoff to Bradshaw, and he crashes through for 6 yards this time. So up to 72 on the night. Folks, Intera Credit Union offers high-efficiency technology banking. Join in at interacu.com. We thank Intera Credit Union for being our scoreboard sponsor again tonight. You see their logo down at the bottom right of your screen.
McDonald Physical Therapy understands that you need less pain, more movement, and better health. They offer the area's top physical therapists and the most up-to-date technology, water therapy, and other cutting-edge treatments. Make sure you get the high-quality care you deserve. McDonald Physical Therapy is a proud supporter of high school sports and wishes all the athletes in tonight's game the best of luck.
Johnny Gonzalez with a tackle of Teron Bradshaw there after a pickup of 2. Gonzalez, the 5'7", 203-pound middle linebacker, helps Valley stop Washington that time, but the Panthers still looking at a 3rd and 2 as we go under a minute to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, Panthers really trying to pick up this first down. First downs for Washington, sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation.
Play clock down to 9. Grant keeps it himself, gets a block from Williams, and Kenyon Grant goes forward for about 4 yards. I think I saw a flag come in from behind the play, and it is a holding call on Washington.
Yeah, they came out in the corner. I was wondering if there had been a call. I've been kind of seeing that tonight when they try to hit the corner here and seal the end. There's been a little bit of holding on that, and here you can see a great replay of it. See Williams grab a hold of the jersey right there. It's not a whole lot, but when they see that jersey come out, they're going to throw the flag and call that.
Yep, absolutely. So a huge 10-yard penalty against Washington sets the Panthers at a 3rd and 12, back at their own 31-yard line. And we did see Kenyon Grant make a big 12-yard pass earlier in this game for a touchdown. What will they do here? Grant rolling out, but he's in trouble, and down he goes. Ross O'Connor got him back behind the line of scrimmage. And there's a Panther player down on one knee at about the 28-yard line.
Looked like a busted play again. Looked like Williams was supposed to come across and missed the handoff as well.
Malik Kelly, the center, slow to get up as the third quarter comes to an end. A lot of emotion at School Field tonight. Tanner Trappidi's quarterback sneak has Tippecanoe Valley up by 5 going to the 4th on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. So it seems like an appropriate time to do a Bill's Heating sideline report. Bo Hunt up next to me tonight, filling in for Bob Nagel. And as we look at Steve Moriarty, he's got to be happy with the defensive adjustments he made in that third quarter.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the biggest things was when they made those adjustments to the outside, they're packing in and keeping Williams from getting the outside, and they're not letting him do anything on the outside. Did a good job of keeping Bradshaw except for one play, but again, bringing up the second punt of the night here in the second half for the Washington Panthers.
Sierre Agnew is the punter for Washington. The snap is good, and so is Agnew's kick. Trappidi will have to let it hit, and it's going to take a Washington bounce inside the 35 to the 33. So a very good kick by Sierre Agnew of 39 yards with no return. And Valley will set up shop 1st and 10 at its own 33 with a chance here to maybe make a game-clinching drive.
Yeah, it's one of those things where there's not a whole lot of possessions in this game. There's been a limited amount of possessions between each team because each team has been able to at least pick up 1 to 2 first downs each drive and take 3-4 minutes off the clock. So here we are, fourth quarter already, and Tippy able to really run the clock here some more.
Tanner Trappidi is a 3-sport athlete. He won a sectional championship last year with the basketball team at Valley. The quarterback is a winner, and he looks to hand it off here, but a good stop by Washington on first down, only a pickup of 1 that time. I believe it was Jaden Conley, and Arthur Taylor has had a very solid second half here for the Washington Panthers.
Yeah, that defense really is getting that push up front there, really coming into the backfield right off the get. And I think that's going to be a difference here on this drive. If they're still able to get that penetration and catch Tippy in some sets and some formations.
Conley tonight, 12 carries, 56 yards for the Valley halfback. Both teams have made their living running the football tonight. Very few passes in this game. It's 2nd and 9. Trappidi will pitch here to Conley, and Conley battles up to the 36, but then he's gang tackled by Deontay Williams, Arthur Taylor, and a host of Washington Panthers. Daniel Thompson also in on the stop.
Gaff still standing over on the sidelines over there, standing right by one of the coaches. Doesn't look like he's even listening to any plays or anything, like he's ready to go back in. I don't know what's up with that ankle.
Well, he hobbled off after a run on a goal down by the goal line, and he hasn't been back since. 3rd and 7. Big play here for the Vikings. They converted one of these earlier in the game. Trappidi fires too high. He was under pressure, and he was looking for Jacob Davis, but overshot him. And it's a punting situation for Steve Moriarty's Vikings.
Yeah, great job of getting Tippy to punt the ball here, get him in a 4th down and long situation, making him pass. That's what they wanted to do, get him in passing situations. One of the keys to win for the Panthers. And again, great defensive step-ups by both these teams and adjustments here in the second half.
So Trapiti will do the punting, and Trapiti gets it out of there quickly and kicks it away from Williams. It'll take a Viking roll inside the 30 to the Panther 29. So the special teams play, which was a little erratic on both sides in the first half, picking up here. Trapiti 35-yard punt, no return. And we'll see what Washington can do with 10-17 left in this one.
See, Gaft is coming back in on defense now, so he is going to be in the ball game on defense. Looks like he's moving a little bit better, not gingery on that ankle. So it looks like he's moving a little bit better. Maybe they'll want to test it out here on defense, and they feel he's more important on defense as well.
Well, the other thing you can do with the defensive back here, because Washington doesn't throw the ball a little bit, is get him just on the field running around a little bit, and maybe that'll loosen it up.
Yep.
1st and 10 from its own 29 for Washington, trailing by 5, looking for the first tournament win for these seniors. Deontay Williams doing his best tonight. He gets knocked out of bounds, and a late flag comes in on the play. We'll see if this is another holding call against Washington.
I'm not sure if they're going to call a holding there. It looked like a blindside block maybe even. Call a holding on that.
We're going to get a look at it here on the SBO replay. Williams trying to get around the outside, and it's Syer Agnew who had a hold of the defensive back there. So that marches the ball back from the spot of the penalty. It's not as bad as it could be for Washington, but it'll be 1st and 13.
Yeah, instead of a 1st and 20, it just moves it back 3 yards from the spot and replay the down.
Kenyon Grant gives it off to Williams again, and Williams spinning around takes it up to the 34-yard line. Pickup of about 8 on the play. Malik Kelly again a little slow to get up. The Washington center really taking a beating tonight.
Williams coming off limping a little bit as well, a little banged up. Very physical game out there tonight.
That's a huge blow for Washington because they're already down 1 running back in this game.
El Machete Restaurant in Akron says, "Go Vikings, beat Washington." El Machete serves American breakfast all day as well as a great Mexican food line. Open 6 to 3 Sunday through Wednesday and open 7 p.m. on Thursdays through Saturdays. Check out El Machete on Rochester Road in Akron.
Teron Bradshaw with a great cutback on that run. Goes for 7 yards and a 1st down, sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation. Washington with the ball at the 41-yard line. Bradshaw really cutting back against the grain well that time. Bradshaw ran for 145 yards in their win over Riley. He's had 3 100-yard-plus games this year, and he's got 81 in this one so far tonight. And you get the feeling if Washington's going to win, he's going to have to be over 100.
Yeah, definitely. And
Grant will keep it on the option. He's got room on the outside. Grant runs away from Conley and steps out of bounds inside the 43 of Valley territory. Another 1st down sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation. Pickup of 16 for the speedy Washington quarterback.
Yeah, you can see SBO replay. Great block on the outside, and good job by Grant getting to the outside. Almost looked like he was kind of limping a little bit there as well as he was coming around the corner.
Would it surprise you to know that Kenyon Grant's on the track team at Washington? I don't think so based on the speed he showed there. From the 42, it's Bradshaw again, right up the middle. Bradshaw squeezing through people. Bradshaw battling down to the 33 and another 1st down sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation.
Well, think Pyramid Equipment for your snowplow needs. Sells, services, and installation of residential and commercial grade snowplows, parts, and salt spreaders. Pyramid offers military, police, and firemen discount. Find them at pyramitequipmentinc.com.
Washington showing some fire, and remember they're doing this with Deontay Williams over on the sidelines after being hurt. This time they figured out that it was coming to Bradshaw, and he still managed to pick up about 1 yard on the play, but a much better job of closing that down by Harry Johnston, Johnny Gonzalez, and the Tippecanoe Valley defense.
Yeah, it looks like Williams is snapping his helmet back up. He's standing pretty close to Coach Stamich, looking like he wants to get back in this series as well.
Really trying to stretch out his legs right now at about the 40-yard line. Bradshaw and Clark in the backfield. It's Grant keeping it himself, and he got tripped up nicely. Good defense that time by Valley as Jacob Ehrenman came up and made the stop for the linebacker position.
One of those little reads where they could have given it to Bradshaw or keep it himself. Looks like that time Bradshaw had a pretty big hole and could have ran some distance. Instead, he pulled it out and took it to the outside, bring up a long third down here, but they're in 4-down territory, that's for sure.
3rd and 6 from the 29. You look at Todd Stamich on the sidelines, the IUSB alum. Watches Williams take the handoff, and Williams only picks up a yard on the play. Again, terrific linebacker play. Harry Johnston, the defensive tackle, also in on the stop.
Washington was 2 for 3 in the first half on 4th downs, and here they come up with another 4th down situation, and they ran it on a couple of those first downs as well.
Todd Stamich sending the play in with Javante Wallace. Steve Moriarty signals his defense in. Man, the passion of a first-round tournament game. You can't beat it here at School Field tonight. It's Bradshaw trying to bull his way up the middle. Bradshaw got to the 24. He had to get to the 23, and Valley is held on downs.
Like they tried to go on a little bit of a quick count on that play. Didn't quite have a couple people set and ready to go, but great push by Bradshaw up the middle, but just not enough to get that first down.
So Bradshaw comes up 1 yard short, and now Valley takes over the football with 6:35 to go, leading by 5, and trying to chew time off the clock.
Garrick Dieter is a 2012 Washington graduate. He was the 4A Player of the Year. He was an Alabama standout, and now a Kansas City Chief wide receiver. He's a proud supporter of the Panthers in tonight's game, and his Dieter Dream Team Foundation is a great sponsor of the high school football game of the week.
Man, we love the support. I would just love it more if Garrick would not mess up the costumes for Meg and Garrick at their Halloween party tonight. Here's the handoff in the backfield, dropped by Gaff, and he got back on it at the line of scrimmage.
Wow.
That handoff was not a clean one, and Gaff was struggling with it the whole time. You'll see another look at it here from SBO.
He tried to grab it with his hands instead of let the quarterback put it in his stomach. As a running back, do not grab that ball with your hands. Let the quarterback put it in your stomach. First play back in there, he wanted to make something happen.
He has had 2 touchdowns tonight. Trapedi under center. Hands it off. Conley, big hole right side. Conley's got a first down and more. Staying on his feet and getting knocked out of bounds. And let's see where they'll spot it. At the 46, it's a first down on a 22-yard pickup for Jaden Conley.
What a big pickup. Great play getting to the outside by Conley on that play. Good blocks downfield, reading his blocks well. Big pickup, big change of possession for the Tippy Valley Vikings of getting that ball out close to midfield and give them some room now with just under 6 minutes to go.
Jalen Potter, a terrific block on that play. Here's the handoff up the middle. This time Conley bottled up. Arthur Taylor on the stop after a pickup of 1. Jaden Conley now 15 carries for 81 yards on the night.
Gast Heating and Cooling is a proud sponsor of tonight's game in Akron, Indiana. They're proud supporters of the Vikings. Gast Heating and Cooling serves Fulton, Kosciuszko, Marshall, Miami, and Wabash County homes and businesses. They're specialized in water furnace geothermal products. Visit gastheatingcooling.com for more information.
Steve Moriarty telling us before the game about the great support that they've had from the community all around the Tippecanoe Valley. Play clock down to 5 here. Trapedi really trying to milk it. Trapedi will keep it himself on the option, and a flag comes in behind the play, and you figure this has to be a hold on Valley.
Yeah, it's in that area of the holding call, and there you'll see the head official call the holding call, and the Vikings move it back. Make it a long 2nd and 19, second 20.
Well, let's keep an eye here on the tight end on the far side. You look at the hands of Ross O'Connor, and he's pulling at the jersey of Daniel Thompson there.
Again, one of those where that jersey gets pulled out. They're going to see that. They're going to make that call.
So the ball spotted back at the 36-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and 19 here for Valley, but the clock running and down under 5 minutes to go in this one. Trapedi hands off to Conley, trying to get around the right side, and Conley trying to stay in bounds as well and did a good job of that before Washington finally was able to knock him down, as Terrence Johnson was the one who finished off the tackle.
Yeah, Vikings want to take up as much time as they can, and they want that clock to keep on running, do not want to run out of bounds in that situation. And
which means even though it's 3rd and 18, I'd be a little surprised here if they put the ball in the air.
yeah, I would be too. I mean, I'm assuming they're just going to keep the ball on the ground, get this down to about the 3.5-minute mark, and
punt it and put it on the shoulders of the defense.
Yep. Defense has stepped up this whole second half.
They have shut out Washington in the second half. It's Trapedi rolling out. He's acting like he's going to throw. He does throw, and it's broken up beautifully by Kashawn Donald.
Very, very interesting on that pass play. He had the guy open, but great defensive work, and he almost got there a little early. Might have, you can see it, SBO right about the same time, and that's a good play. You can't call that, and that was a good job. Sideline judge was right there on the call. He did not make that call. He didn't feel it was necessary to make that call.
Jalen Potter, the intended receiver, so Tanner Trapedi will line up in punt formation.
Williams, lots of speed back there. If he's able to give some room, watch out for Williams.
Trapedi has done a good job of getting hang time, though, tonight. Williams made the fair catch at the 32-yard line. 3:50 to go. Washington down by 5, 68 yards from pay dirt. The exciting conclusion when we come back on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV 46 for 30 years. TCU School Field has been electric tonight, even though it's been a low-scoring game. 19-14 Valley. Here's South Bend, Washington at its own 33 with 3:50 left and all of its timeouts remaining. Kenyon Grant at quarterback keeps it himself, and Grant gets stood up by Jason Snap at the 38-yard line, a pickup of 5 on the play for the Washington QB.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Jonas's Junction. Go Vikings. Open for lunch and dinner, offering dine-in and carry-out. Check out the buffet dinner. Great burgers and huge tenderloins. Or the awesome pizza. Find out why Jonas's is rated 4.9 out of 5. Jonas's Junction in Akron.
All right, Jonesies, we appreciate the help tonight. 2nd and 5. It'll be Grant keeping it himself, trying to get around the outside. Grant stumbling through people, gets the first down. It's sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation as he goes to the 43-yard line. 68 yards on 14 carries tonight for Kenyon Grant. Mentions he misses his late grandfather who passed away before the season. Steve Moriarty imploring his defense to make one last stop.
They can just keep not giving up the big play here and run that clock.
It's Williams on the counter play. Williams bounces to the outside and steps out of bounds to stop the clock as he goes out at the 47-yard line, a pickup of 4 on the play.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Tippy is just not giving up that big play, making the Panthers earn this touchdown, earn this victory. See Gass back out on the field, still dealing with that ankle a little bit. Washington sticking with their game plan, sticking with those runs, sticking with Bradshaw up the middle, Grant on the outside, Williams on the outside.
It's Bradshaw this time trying to go up the middle, and Harry Johnston comes up with another big stop at the 49-yard line. Pickup of 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 4.
coming up to the 2.5-minute mark. 3 timeouts still with South Bend, Washington. But they still, I mean, they're right at midfield. They might want to try to hurry it up just a little bit, put a little bit more speed in that running those plays in and getting out of the huddle.
We are down to 2:15 to go. Play clock is already down to 12. Grant keeps it himself, gets around one man, needs a block, and somehow stayed on his feet and got to the 48-yard line. He's a yard short of the first down. Todd Stamich will send the play in, but the clock continues to run.
Yeah, great job by Grant picking up a yard and a half on that play. I don't know how he was able to pick up a yard and a half. He was able to squirm away, and here you can see they're getting the play in a little bit earlier here, but coming up on a minute and a half, and with almost a minute gone, and they only picked up a yard and a half there.
4th and 1, season on the line for Washington. Bradshaw gets the first down. He's still on his feet all the way to the 31. It's sponsored by the Dieter Dream Foundation. A pickup of 16 for Teron Bradshaw, who goes over the 100-yard mark for the night.
They've had some huge success with that play when they run him off tackle in that power play. When they get him a little bit to the outside, give him a little bit of room so he's taking on a linebacker or DB, he has the advantage.
Clock still running. It's Bradshaw again. This time he gets stacked up. Todd Stamich wants to use his first time out right here. Only a pickup of 1 that time for Bradshaw, who has 21 carries for 116 yards. So as we take a look at this one, Malik Kelly slow to get up after the timeout is called. We can tell you where we're going to be next week, and that is on the banks of the Elkhart River. We have a top 10 showdown in Class 5A next week as Concord takes that little jaunt up Sterling Avenue, turn left at Mary Beck Elementary School, go on up Richmond and turn on 1 Blazer Boulevard to go see the Elkhart Central Blue Blazers. Number 6 Concord, number 8 Elkhart Central. Should be a great game. You'll see it Friday night 11, Saturday morning at 9 on your home for high school sports, TV 46.
What a great game next week we're going to have, but I'm telling you right now, what a great finish we're going to have in this game right here. So glad we were able to do this game tonight here at TCU School Field. Tippy Valley coming up to the big city, checking out the South Bend School Field here, and they had nothing but great things to say about this facility as well.
Both of these teams have handled themselves exceptionally well. We've seen great sportsmanship from both sides. The coaches have struck up a friendship before the game. It's been a terrific high school football atmosphere tonight in South Bend. 2nd and 9 at the 31 for the Washington Panthers. These seniors, and we reiterate this, have never won a football tournament game. It means a lot to them. They've got an opportunity to do something about it here in the final minute 10. Todd Stamich, calm on the outside. He's got to be like that duck paddling on the inside. Kenyon Grant looking to throw, lobs it up there, and it is incomplete. Jalen Potter wanted an offensive interference call on Deontay Williams and is not going to get it.
Wow, I was surprised. That was a big old push on that.
Oh, and you're going to see it here on our SBO replay. Matt Kowalski down at field level. That would qualify as offensive pass interference.
Not one hand, 2 hands, and the push.
So it'll be 3rd and 9. The clock does stop for Washington with 1:04 to go here in regulation. Panthers down by 5, have to have a touchdown. Bradshaw and Williams in the backfield. Javante Wallace split wide to the top of your screen. Kenyon Grant gives it to Williams on the counter play, and he gets to the outside. Williams and Potter makes a big tackle up at the 25-yard line and keeps him inbounds. Washington will use another timeout here to set up the 4th down play.
Yeah, what a good job by Williams getting to the outside, picking up, making it now a manageable 4th down. 4th and 2, 2.5 here. Very manageable for this Washington Panthers, but again, another 4th down. They need to pick this up, and now only 1 timeout for Washington left.
But how about the play by Jalen Potter there? He gives up 35 pounds to Devontae Williams, who's got a head of steam coming up the field. And Potter sticks his neck in there and makes a big hit to force this fourth down play.
Yeah, great job of really getting up in there, sticking his head in there, wrapping up the legs and knocking him down.
So 53.2 seconds left. And Todd Stamich trying to keep his team calm here for this fourth down play. It's fourth. The scoreboard says 2, but it's more like 2.5.
Yeah, and this is it right here for Tippy Valley. If they're able to stop them, Tippy Valley wins this game. Washington picks this up, and then it's still game on.
Kenyon Grant, marvelous game at quarterback. Turns, hands it off. Bradshaw can't get the first down. He is stopped by the Valley defense. Johnny Gonzalez and Wade Melanson came up and made the hit. And the Tippecanoe Valley Vikings are going to go on to face Jimtown in round 2. What a play by the Valley defense here. Take another look from the SBO replay. Man, the big fella, Melanson, 6'2", 334 and a sophomore. He's only 15 years old, but he came roaring through to make the hit. So Tippecanoe Valley only has to run out the clock, and they will move on to round 2. There's one snap. Washington does have a timeout, but Todd Stamich feels at this point it would be pointless to use it, as Valley only needs one more snap, and they're going to walk out of here with a 19-14 victory. Their first trip to the big city, their first trip to School Field, will prove to be a profitable one for Steve Moriarty's team, which moves to 7-3 on the year. A heartbreaking end of the season for the Washington Panthers, who were gallant out here in defeat tonight, losing by the count of 19-14. Stick around. We've got a lot coming up on our Craig Welding postgame show, including a chat with our IU South Bend Fulfilling the Promise player of the game. It all comes your way next on the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by
TCU School Field thinning out right now as the crowd decides to leave, but the Valley fans lingering around the locker room to salute their heroes after Tippecanoe Valley moves on to the second round of the tournament as they defeat the South Bend Washington Panthers tonight by a count of 19-14 in a very exciting football game here at School Field. Chuck Freeby high above the fray. Heroes aplenty on both sides, really. This was a heartbreaking loss for the Panthers, who improved tremendously here in 2019, going from 3-7 to 6-3 coming into this game, and they felt they had a chance to win this football game tonight. They were very close to doing it, but Valley came up with some big plays towards the end of the game to stop them. They also had some big plays early from one of their running backs, and he is our IU South Bend Fulfilling the Promise player of the game. Standing by live now with Bo Hunt.
Standing by with our player of the game, Dakota Gaff. Dakota, first off, just great victory tonight for your Tippy Valley Vikings, you and your brothers.
Yeah, it was amazing. We fought so hard, and senior year, man, I wanted this so bad. I didn't want to be done.
You guys come out here, you guys get this opening round victory against a very talented Washington team, very similar in styles. What was it that you guys come out in the second half defensively and able to stop this team?
I think it's all with our hearts, man. We wanted it. We wanted it more. We play hard. It's just do what we have to do. We wanted it so bad.
You got a coach that came in here a couple years ago and really changed this program around. What has Coach Steve brought to this program?
Oh, I love Steve. Coach Mo, he's amazing. He's always here for me, and I'm down. He's picking me up. He does everything. He's amazing.
Congratulations on this victory and being our player of the game. I'll let you go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you.
Back to you.
The joy of Valley, it's the disappointment for South Bend Washington, which was in this game till the very end. In fact, they made a big play right at the end of the first half to take the lead at halftime, and that's our Electrical Workers Local 153 electrifying play of the game, as Kenyon Grant, the quarterback, rolled out and found Sierre Agnew in the end zone with no time remaining on the clock. It was an untimed down after a penalty. Grant to Agnew, and the ensuing two-point conversion would give the Panthers the lead at the break. And that is our Electrical Workers Local 153 electrifying play of the game. So Bo Hunt has made his way back up from the field. Your thoughts on this one?
Exactly what we thought it was going to be. Just a great game, back and forth. We talked at halftime, Bill's Heating sideline report, and I talked to the coaches. Didn't quite get a chance to. But one of the keys was their defensive adjustments in the second half. And both defenses made adjustments and really shut the other offense down, but Tippy just made enough adjustments to shut down Washington's offense.
Well, in fact, they pitched a shutout in the second half. Washington was able to move the ball.
Yeah.
They just couldn't get into the end zone, couldn't make the big play when they needed it at the end of the game. So Valley now moves on to face Jimtown in the sectional semifinals. That's a long-standing rivalry in the playoffs. For South Bend, Washington, the end of the season sooner than they would have hoped at the count of 6-4. Our thanks to our entire TV 46 crew who worked on this game tonight, led by our production manager, Dean Korsmo, and the bubbly one sitting in the director's chair tonight, Tony Beltran. A reminder, we've got college football on the radio Saturday. A Big Ten doubleheader starts with Illinois taking on Purdue at noon at Ross-Ade Stadium. Then at 3:30, Indiana goes on the road again. Can the Hoosiers get another big road win? They go into Lincoln and take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And don't forget, next Friday night, the tournament trail continues. We wind our way over to Elkhart as the Concord Minutemen, ranked number 6 in 5A, take on the 8th-ranked Elkhart Central Blue Blazers. We'll have it for you Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Now from my partner, the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freebie reminding you the final score from TCU Schoolfield. Tippecanoe Valley 19, South Bend, Washington 14. So long from South Bend.